On the outside looking in with my business goggles, I think the WNBA is bankrupt. Oh, I think they hella bankrupt. I think they been bankrupt. I think it's so bankrupt that the owners is just using the WNBA as a tax write-off. They gotta be. It gotta be a tax write-off. It is dead cap over there, bro. It gotta be.
This is an exaggeration. It's a business owner looking at the numbers and calling it honestly. And when you examine the facts, it's hard to disagree. The WNBA has lost money for 28 straight years. Not just a few months or quarters, but 28 full years. So what does that actually mean? While most of the attention has been on CBA talks and revenue sharing debates, there's a bigger question looming. How much longer are the people footing the bill willing to keep doing so?
It's looking like they're ready to pull the plug on the WNBA. That says WNBA will lose $40 million this season, and its investors are growing impatient. They've been impatient. While the WNBA is getting sold-out crowds from the finals between the New York Liberty and Minnesota Lynx. Now, this is from a year or two ago. It says the NBA owners nearly 60% of the league. When one combines the NBA owners' personal stake in WNBA teams, the WNBA itself, and the amount rises to...
These figures come from a New York Post investigation in October 2024. Revealing details most casual fans have never seen. NBA owners directly control nearly 60% of the WNBA. Factor in their personal stakes in individual teams, and that control jumps to 75%. The WNBA isn't just in debt to the NBA. Sources familiar with the finances say the debt is so large that even with the new media rights deal, the league won't see real profits for years. One NBA owner put it bluntly. They're happy to check the boxes and move on. But here's the tricky part. The league just had what should have been a breakout season. Caitlin Clark brought huge attention. Attendance records were broken and playoff games sold out. And yet, projected losses for 2024 still range from $4 million to $50 million. How does that add up?
See, the media rights deal for the W comes this year. I think, this is just my personal opinion, I think that's why they're holding out. The ladies want some of that $2 billion media right deal. Here's the thing. We don't know how the media right deal is going to look because viewership is down. My viewership's still down. Certain creators getting their views back, but the audience so wishy-washy, yeah, make you not even...
That $2 billion number is real. The WNBA's new media rights deal, part of the NBA's broader package, kicks in for the 2026 season. On paper, it's transformative. Money that could change the league's financial future. But there's a key detail that's been overlooked. Viewership is already slipping. Caitlin Clark drove huge attention during the regular season. But once the playoffs began and she wasn't playing, numbers fell. The WNBA finals averaged 1.6 million viewers per game. By comparison, a single regular season fever game in September drew 2.5 million on a random Tuesday. Media companies don't pay $2 billion for shrinking audiences. They pay for growth. If the 2025 season doesn't at least match 2024's numbers, that deal starts to look very different. Not legally, but practically, because the 2027 renegotiation will shift leverage if the viewers aren't there.
As soon as you type this in on Google, they're not profitable. The WNBA is operating at a significant annual loss, subsidized by the NBA, with estimates of losses ranging from $10 million to $50 million yearly. So they're losing this money yearly, bro. See, that was last year. So that New York Post article was from 2024. 2025, this is right now. They're guaranteed to lose.
Let's break down the money, because this is where it gets really interesting. Financial reports and industry coverage from ESPN and Sports Business Journal show the WNBA's projected 2024 revenue at $100 to $200 million, a big jump from past years. Sponsorships are up, ticket sales set records, and merchandise is flying off the shelves. But expenses are rising even faster. The league upgraded travel accommodations after years of criticism, boosted marketing to capitalize on Caitlin Clark's popularity, and operational costs for 12 teams, even with NBA arena sharing. remain high. Player salaries have also increased under the current CBA. Put it all together, and you get a projected loss of $4 to $50 million. Here's the real concern. That's what the league's most attention-grabbing season ever. What happens in 2025 if Caitlin Clark gets injured? Angel Reese doesn't develop as expected, or casual fans don't stick around.
That's what I was telling you. It's basically a tax write-off for the owners, with reported losses around $10 million annually, historically, and potentially $40 to $50 million in 2024. Revenue has increased significantly. With projections near $100 million to $200 million, but expenses remain higher, keeping it in the red, guys. There is no saving the W. They've been running negative.
This is the backdrop making CBA negotiations so tense. Players extended the opt-out deadline through early December, meaning they could still strike before the 2025 season. The debate isn't just about salary caps or travel anymore. It's about revenue, sharing, and profit participation. Players want a piece of that $2 billion media deal. They see it as proof that the league has real value and that their efforts created it. From their perspective, they're right. Owners, however, see it differently. They've been covering losses for nearly 30 years, absorbing $40 million deficits while being told to invest in growth and trust the process. Now, just as a path to profitability emerges, players want to restructure the deal. From a business standpoint, the frustration is understandable. NBA owners aren't running a charity. They've invested hundreds of millions with no return. The fact they've stuck with it this long is impressive, no matter how you feel about it.
At this point, the owners is trying. I get the owners that. They're trying to get y'all something. But at this point, y'all acting like y'all been just the hottest thing since sliced bread. And that's just not it's the case. Y'all been operating as a loss. Now y'all talking about all these great people and all these people that came before Caitlin. Well, if they were so great, why y'all ain't making no money? Why come y'all haven't made no money?
This is where the tax write-off theory actually makes sense and why it matters for what comes next. Under current tax law, business losses can offset other income. For NBA owners making huge profits from their men's teams, WNBA losses offer a real tax benefit. That doesn't mean it's their main motivation, but it does soften the impact of annual losses. For example, a $40 million WNBA loss might only cost an owner $25 million after tax benefits, depending on their situation. But if the WNBA turns a profit, the calculation flips. Losses become taxable revenue, and after-tax returns need to justify the investment. That's where pressure builds, because the expected returns from a $2 billion media deal look less appealing when factoring in debt repayment first. Multiple NBA owners have privately expressed frustration. Reporting from The Athletic and ESPN shows they're not against the WNBA succeeding. They just want credit for their investment and a financial structure that reflects the reality.
Any other ladies that came before Caitlin or any of that, I'm not sitting here trying to state that, but I'm saying if it was on the up and up, y'all would be balling, but y'all ain't. Y'all bankrupt. Guys, get down in the comment section. Let me know y'all thoughts about this one, man. Make sure you guys keep them bells on.
So, what does this mean for the 2026 season? That's the big question, and there are a few possible scenarios, some of which could change the WNBA as we know it. Scenario 1. Players and owners reach a deal that works for both sides. Players get meaningful raises and some revenue sharing once the league turns a profit. Owners get protection for their investment and a clear path to returns. The 2025 season goes smoothly, viewership stays strong, and the 2026 media deal launches successfully. This is the best-case scenario. Scenario 2. Negotiations fail, players strike, and the 2025 season is delayed or canceled. Momentum collapses. Casual fans move on, sponsors get nervous, and critics argue the league is unstable. The 2026 media deal still happens, but broadcasters gain the leverage to renegotiate terms. Scenario 3. NBA owners decide to cut losses strategically. They honor commitments through the 2026 deal, extract what value they can, then sell stakes to new investors or restructure the league. This isn't speculation. This is what those ecstatic to toe the polls memes are really about.
Until next time, man, shake the haters off. I'm out of here, bro. Peace out.
The Caitlin Clark factor can't be overstated. She is, without question, the most valuable business asset the WNBA has ever had. Her rookie season generated more media value than the previous 5 years combined. According to Nielsen and industry tracking, this creates a risky dependency. If the league's financial health relies on one player staying healthy in the league and maintaining her appeal, that's not sustainable. It's a house of cards. This is why the CBA negotiations are so tense. Players have leverage now because of what Caitlin delivered. If they don't use it and 2025 doesn't match that success, their leverage disappears. Owners know this too, which is why they're reluctant to promise long-term revenue sharing based on one exceptional season. The smart money says a deal will happen. Both sides have too much to lose from a stoppage, but the terms will decide whether the WNBA becomes a truly sustainable league or remains a subsidized showcase under NBA owners. The next 18 months will define the WNBA's future more than the previous 28 years combined. Money and attention are finally here, but the business fundamentals still don't work. The league has survived on potential for 3 decades. Now that potential has to translate into performance, not just on the court, but in the boardroom. The people funding $40 million annual losses are losing patience, and they're evaluating exit strategies. When you hear players demand what they deserve, or owners defend their investment, or media debate the league's value, remember what's really at stake: the WNBA survival. This isn't just about pay or respect. It's about whether the league exists in 5 years as more than a cautionary tale about the gap between cultural impact and economic reality. The $2 billion media deal buys time. It doesn't guarantee anything, and time is running out.